Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to create this login screen with this cute looking panda, and this panda will react when you will do something, when you will type something in your username and password, and when you click on login. So let's see. So let's say when I type my username, and this panda starts gazing at my username because it's very naughty panda. So also, if I start typing my password, so the panda is very good, so he will close his eyes. Look at him closing his eyes. And then when I click login, because I have entered some wrong username and password, it will say, oh no, he's very sad, poor panda. So let's enter right password and make the panda happy. So the password I have used is admin and admin. See, the panda has closed his eyes, and when I click login, he would be like happy, yay, you have entered right password. So how we will do it? So we'll be doing it using SwiftUI. We will be using proper MVVM pattern, and we will be using something called Rive. So Rive is an animation app or web online application which you can use to create animation like this, and these animations would be something which can remove the gap between this development and design. So you can have some triggers, some states through which you can call all these, you can trigger all these animation through your SwiftUI application, or through some other platform as well. Like we can use it in Flutter, we can use it maybe in Kotlin. I haven't discovered that, but yeah, we can use it with many other platforms, even in web, right? So yeah, so this is our Rive app. You see it is kind of moving with my cursor as well. And when I scroll down, you can see there are so many things. You'll be able to find out more about this. I definitely recommend to go through their web page. It's really interactive, and it's a great application, so you would be loving it. So if you go to this community, you will find a lot of free animation which you can use. So that is the great thing about it, right? You have all these animation readily available for you to use it in your web app or mobile applications, right? So the one which we will be using, that is available in bone section, that's called Teddy login screen. I have already opened it over here. So if you see, once you click from here, it will open it will open somewhere something like this, and in this screen you will see all the states are here, right? So whatever I was able to do with my application, I can do it over here. And that's how we, using these states, we will be doing it in our SwiftUI application as well. So let's say if I click on check, the panda will start gazing at downside. He is trying to see some username or anything you are trying to give as input, right? So when I increase the number, his eyes will go in the right side, and if I decrease, it will go in the left side, something like that. When I close it, you will notice his eyes will go in the normal state. Yeah. And then yeah, if I say success, the panda will be happy, yay. And if I say fail, the panda will be sad. And then the hands up animation as well. So all these animations is available. You just have to call these states from your SwiftUI, and you will have this sweet looking animation in your application. So all you have to do, download it, and it will download a .riv file, and then you can follow the instruction in this pod, in this GitHub repository, and you should be good to go. But if you have noticed in my application, I don't have this background which you see over here. So if you want to do any changes, you can also do that. You can open in Rive, so it will open the Rive editor, and you can do some changes over there. So I really like that about it, so that you can pick any of these animations, you can make changes according to your needs, and then you can use it in your application. So it's very customizable. Or you can, even better, you can create your own animations. That would require a lot of practice, but yeah, If you don't have a lot of practice with creating animations, we can easily go ahead and use an existing and edit it according to our requirement and use it. So as you see, this is the editor, and at the right side you have this artboard. So when you select it, you will see over here we have this color, fill color, we have position, sign, all these type of properties which is used over here. What I need, I want to change the opacity to 0, so I will change it to 0, and that's good. And then if I click on over here, this is the design and this is animate tab, right? So if I click on here, you will see I have all the states mentioned over here, which we were able to access in this over here. All those states are available, so you can play around, like you can play over here, and then you can like say success and the panda is happy. You can see fail and the panda is sad, and you see the state is changing over here. So all these things are available. I won't be going in depth how we do all these things, but of course, I mean, very basic. I mean, if you want to change anything, you can do those changes. And then the state machine, using the state machine name, we will be accessing it in our SwiftUI code. So I didn't like its name, so I had changed it to something like um, login state, you can say, or login state machine, whatever you prefer. And then if all your changes are done, we can download it from here. So you can go to download, and over here just click on it, and this file will be downloaded as .riv, which you can use it in your Swift applications. So to use it, you need to have your pod installed for pod runtime. So just copy this, put it in your pod file, and just run pod install, and you should be good to go, right? You can follow these instructions if you want to do it in UI kit, but since I'm doing in SwiftUI, let's see how we can do it in SwiftUI. So I already have my base project ready. So in this base project, you can see I have this login form which we have over here, but it doesn't work like this demo application. We don't have our panda, we don't have the login click verification, nothing is there. It's just a simple demo UI, right? So as you can see in the content view, it's just we have a V stack, and inside a V stack we have another V stack. I have given spacer over here, if you see. So basically we'll remove the spacer and have our panda instead of the spacer. And then in this V stack, you see we have our form. So this is the form V stack. In that we have first reusable text, hi there, and then again reusable text, let's get started, then username, password, and login button view. All this view is available here, you can see it over here. So we have reusable text, which takes font and text, and we have username, which take the binding username parameter, and then we can bind it with our text field, the username text field, and all these modifiers are added. We have our password, so for password we have used secure field, and we have our login button view. So on click of login button, we have to perform our verify login, which we have not done yet. And then this bottom view is with this login with FG. The F is for Facebook and G is for Google. So yeah, so this is our view. And then if you see in this part as well, in the project hierarchy, I have added few files. Like I have my constants file, which we will be using throughout the application. And yeah, so you see my Rive file name, which is Teddy login screen. So I have created a assets folder, and I have put my file which I downloaded from the Rive app. So if you see, its extension is .riv, right? And then I have my state machine. So I had changed the state machine name to login state. So that's what we'll be using. And all these animation names, so like start animation is idle, and then success animation. So if you remember, we had all the animation names right here. Right here, yeah, these animation names, that's what we are using over here, which through which we'll be calling those animation, we'll be triggering those animation. Our artboard name was artboard only, so that's what. And then username and password is admin, so the correct username and password through which we will be verifying our username and password. We'll be verifying our login with these username and password only. And if you see, I have this Rive login resources folder in which I have a view bridge and a Rive controller. So basically, also, if you see, we have these two files, Rive login view bridge and Rive controller. So Rive controller is basically our view model. Actually, I have called it Rive controller, but you can call it Rive view model as well. So if you see, this is it's implemented through observable object. We are implementing this protocol. So we will be like publishing through this Rive controller, and we'll be listening in our content view, and we'll be listening in our Rive login view bridge as well. So this Rive login view bridge is basically to create the bridging between UI kit and SwiftUI. So Rive view, the Rive view which we can create, through which we can create our panda animation or any animation provided through Rive, uh, that is not available in Swift, that we cannot use it directly in Swift. So to use it, to do this interoperability between UI kit and Swift UI, we use this protocol, UI view representable. So that's why we have this Rive login view bridge implemented from this super view. This is a protocol actually, and this protocol provides us these methods. So we have make UI view. Make UI view is where we will be initializing our Rive view. So right now I'm just returning our empty Rive view. We'll be creating our Rive view using our artboard and everything. And we have dismantle UI view. So it is basically like it's like once you are done, you can remove your animation and everything. So you can use this code to remove your to remove anything, to remove all the data related to your Rive view, to stop the animation and everything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just stopping the Rive view. Okay, and now the main part is update UI view. So how do you communicate with your view which is created through UI kit but is being used in Swift UI? So that's why we use this. We have this update UI view. So every time there is some changes, we can update our UI kit view in this update UI view function. So we'll be creating our Rive view over here, but before that, we need our Rive controller. So basically, all our logic will go in this file. So we will have verified login, we will have Panda looking at our username, scrolling through our username, and we'll have all our Panda animation up and running through this file itself. And we'll be publishing all those data from here, from this Rive controller, and our Rive login view bridge and content view will listen to that and update our UI accordingly. So let's just add some properties which we require for our Rive controller. So let's see, we have our Rive file. So Rive file which would be created based on the Rive resource. So the resource would be our this Teddy login screen, right? And then fit and alignment, all these will be needing while we create our Rive view. Also, we will require our states, right? So we have to initialize our states as well. I had written some. Yeah, so we have all these states written. So switch to fail, switch to success, hands up, look value, and then when we are we are publishing our username and password as well from here. Instead of using the @ state in our content view, we will be we will remove this and we will be using our Rive controller, this username and password, right? So all these value will be using, all this will be published. Whenever there is any state change, these value will be changed, and we will be using these as well. Whenever username and password is being changed, our panda will be animated. So let's initialize this as well. We will be initializing this like this. So we have, in our initializer, we will be just will be just asking for our resource name and other things. You can put like fit, if you want some different fit for different different drive views. And then yeah, element. So these are, you can remove this as well if you want to keep it fixed. And then I have assigned these. I've just initialized all these values over here. So look value will be initialized with 0, 0.0, hands up, and all these animation states will be initialized with false, and username and password is initially empty. So the first thing we want to do is, when we click on our verify login button, we want to verify our username and password as well. So I have written all these codes and snippets so that I don't have to type it completely. So you see, in verify login, all I'm doing is I'm just checking if the username is similar to username in our constant file which we had said. So this is basically admin. So if username and password is admin, then we switch our success case. So if user has entered correct username and password, we switch to success. And also what I have done is, after 2 seconds, I am switching back to false, because I want my animation to come back to the idle state again, right? So this will make sure that it comes back to idle state, and the next time when we go to run our animation, the switch to success would be false. So it will not mix our animations. Just make sure we are doing this as well. Similarly, if it is failed, if we have entered wrong user ID password, then it will trigger this animation, and it will be set to false after 2 seconds. So this is our verify login logic. And then we have our look set look log set look value. So this would be to set the gaze value for our panda, so that when panda is gazing at the username, we will just calculate the username enter text count, and then we'll pass it to this set look value, and the look value would be updated, this look value. So don't worry, we will be using all these in our login view bridge to update it in our content view. I'll just show you right away. And then the last function which we want is, we want to have our set hands up state, so that we are just triggering it. So we'll just set it to true. Basically, we don't need a flag over here, because we know that every time we are calling here, we will be calling it for true. And then after 2 seconds, we will set it to false. So similarly like this one, right? So these are all the states we require. These are all the animation which will be triggering based on our user events. When user types something in username, or user click on the login button, then we'll be calling this verify login. When user type in the username field, we'll be calling this function. And when user type in the password field, we want our panda to cover his eyes, so we will call this set hands up state. So this is all we need in our Rive controller. So we have this observable object, and it's publishing these values. So let's use it. So as you see in Rive login view bridge, I have already created this observed object controller, right? So this is the controller, and every time there is any changes, like every time we are changing the switch to fail, switch to success, we can call all these using the Rive controller property which I have given, this variable, through using that variable. So every time there is change in those published value, we will get notified in this function, in this view. So, and this view is basically what we are rendering in our content view in SwiftUI, right? So in this make UI view, we have to create our Rive view. So let's remove it, and I have my snippet ready. Make UI view, yeah. So what we are doing here is in Rive view, again we are creating a Rive view, and this time we are passing all the parameters required. So we need to pass Rive file. So controller.rive we had created in our controller. What would be the fit value, the alignment, and also the start animation. So the start animation, if you remember, we had initially set it in our constant file, so it would be basically idle, and then state machine name. So our state machine name was login state. So this is the Rive view which will be rendered in our content view. I'll just show you how we will do it. We just have to call this file and it will render it. And also let's write code for our update UI view also. So basically when we call this update UI view, so all this logic will happen to make our panda do all the animation. So see, when look view, so let me just explain you the simple one. So whenever whenever user is triggering switch to success, this in Drive controller we had this switch to success, right? So switch to success is being triggered in verify login. So whenever we are calling this verify login from our content view and the switch to success is triggered to true, we will get call in our update UI view over here. And in this update UI view, we will check if controller.switch to success is true. Then basically we will, in this line, if you see, we are just playing our animation. We just Rive view dot play, and we have animation name constant dot success animation. If you see, it will be success animation. This is what we have written in our Rive app when we were creating this states, right? And before doing this, I have just reset our Rive view artboard, because let's say if you have done some other animation, it can impact this in animation, so it's better to reset it. If you don't reset it, it will get confused between two animations and it will play two animation at once. So this can happen if you remove it and just click on before doing any other animation, and just click on the success animation, then it would work properly. But after doing some animation and then do this animation, it can cause any problem. So that's why I have done this. Similarly for switch to fail, this is the same thing. When user clicked on login and they've entered wrong password, the switch to fail would be set to true in Drive controller, and then we will get a call over here and we will play our animation. Similarly for hands up, was not a trigger, so we are not playing the animation. We are just triggering we are just changing the state. So if you remember, if you go here, hands up is not a trigger. These are the triggers. These are just boolean which we are setting, which we are changing the state of these boolean. So we are just changing the state of the boolean. So we have state machine. State machine is the value of login state, and then input is hands up animation, which is hands up. I have defined it in the constant file, and then I just say the controller value, the value which we have set up over here, right? And then if you see this one, this is for our panda who is gazing through our controller, the username controller, whenever we are entering over there. So this is also for this, if you remember, we have a check. So we have to set the bool value. So that's why I'm setting Rive view set bool state. So if look value is greater than 1, then only I'm doing it first of all. And I set this check animation to true. So check animation has to be true first. And if I run this, I have to set this look value to something higher. Uh, yeah, so it will start gazing, right? So that's what I'm doing. First I'm setting the check animation, and then I set number state for the same state machine. I just input name would be look animation, and then I just set my float value. I just multiply it with 5 because the value which comes the length of I'm just returning the username, the character length. So just multiply it by 5 so that it is giving some value, some basic value, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it with our Rive login view bridge as well. So let's go to content view and make everything happen, make it work. So basically, we don't need these username and password anymore because we won't be using that. We will be using our observed object, that Rive controller. And with Rive controller, if you remember, we had our username and password set over there. So we will be using that. And this Rive controller is taking constant file name, our Rive file name. So that is defined over here, this steady login screen. Uh, yeah, so in the initializer, we are just passing the Rive file name. The other initializer value would be the same one what we are passing over here. If you want to change it, you can call it and change it from there. Yeah, and let's go to the content view. Okay, so we'll get some error. So instead of directly using it, I can just use Rive controller over here, and then use the the not hash. We need $Rive controller dot username, and similarly $Rive controller dot user password as well. So we can pass these. Also, now I can initialize our Rive file directly from here instead of the spacer. So to do so, I have all I have to do is call my Rive login view bridge and pass this controller which I created, and I've just set the width and height. Okay, I forgot to give this, and okay, now it's fine. So if I run the application, I should be able to see my panda in the app. Okay, so our app is running now, and we can see our panda is there on its position, but it doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't gaze on the username, it doesn't close its eyes when I type password, doesn't do anything. But we can do it. We haven't called the any of the animation yet, and let's do it. Let's first close this because it's not doing anything, and we will call our animations now. So the first animation, when user type anything over here, the panda should gaze. So let's go to username, and if you go to username in this on edit change, this would be called every time we come into this edit field. But what we want is on change value, so that would be on change. I've already written it. No, this is for password. I have for username. Yeah, so we have this on change method. So in this method, we will be calling our Rive controller dot set look with. So if you remember, we had written this set look method. So this set look method will update this look value which is published, and this is being observed by our Rive login view bridge, and our update UI will be called update UI, and then this would be called, and we will trigger this animation. So that is the whole thing we are doing, right? So that's what we will call it, and it would be triggered. And as soon as we come out of our Rive, come out of this username, right? We want to change the set look value to 0, so we can set that as well. So let's set it to 0.0. So VL 0.0. So that next, like it's not hung up on that one animation. So when we come out of here, it should go to its ideal state as well. And we have not specified, we have not initialized, we have not created a variable for Rive controller. So let's create a variable Rive controller, and we'll have to pass it from here as well. So otherwise it will start giving complaint Rive controller. So I have this Rive controller, and username is already set, body I don't need to set. Okay, so now it should be fine. Similarly, we will do for our password as well. So let's do it over here. We'll create Rive controller, and then on change password. Yeah, so what I'm doing over here, when user is typing in password field, we need that hands up, we need hands up state, right? So we don't have to pass this, and as we had this function hands up state, it will trigger this hands up animation, and we will have that hands up state. So yeah, and let's do our verify login as well. So the verify login, okay, so this is the button, right? All I have to do is create this Rive controller again over here as well, and call verify login method. That's all, and it should do the trick. It should work now, except we have these errors. So let's give it what it want. Rive controller login button, also it needs Rive controller. So we shouldn't be having any more issues now. Let's run our application and test it. Okay, so app is running now, and we can test it. So if I go to username, and if I pass any random value, if you see, the panda is gazing it. If I go this direction, his eyes will go in this direction. If I go in this direction, his eyes will go in this direction. Very nice. And when I type password, he's closed his eyes because we have triggered the right animation now. And now, because we have entered wrong password and wrong username, if I click on login, the panda is sad. So let's make him happy. Let's enter the right password, and when I click on okay, he's happy now. Okay, so that's all with this tutorial, and I hope you liked it. I did not mention the utilities. I have just two utilities. One is the color extension through which we are getting all these colors, so completely simple thing. And one of this is to get the file, to get Rive files. If you remember, in the Rive controller, I am calling this function over here. So based on my resource, based on my Teddy login screen name, it will basically get this file from bundle and give me this Rive file. So this function. So you can get it easily from the Rive GitHub files. Yeah, GitHub page. This is I just copy pasted from there. So this is very simple one. So yeah, so this is it. We are done with our tutorial, and this is our panda. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please do subscribe, and do let me know if you want more content like this. Thank you so much. Bye bye.